When we first got married, things were just so easy. We both had great jobs. We felt like, we were that young couple that, hey, we never fight.
But then when he lost his job and financially we were in a horrible place, that was when things got really, really hard for us.
We struggled for quite a few years, paycheck to paycheck, with a new child. That added some stress that we'd never felt before.
At that same time, I was going through postpartum depression. And so here I am, I had a baby, I feel horrible about myself.
And then there was me struggling with, here I am as a new dad, as a husband, I can't seem to keep a job.
We were living on an unemployment check, for a long time. I didn't trust my husband, I didn't trust God to take care of me because we were broke for so long. I cried a lot in private. I spent a lot of time on my face on the ground in my living room, crying out to God.
Those struggles kind of brought out some of the baggage that we'd actually carried into our relationship. What is my drug of choice when it comes to dealing with stress in my life? And pornography was something that was easy and readily available.
And so I remember just yelling at him, why? How could you do this to me? How could you do this to me? I just said, I need you to know that I don't trust you. I don't trust you to care for me.
I introduced anger into the family by the way that I reacted to different situations, the way that I would speak to my wife.
I felt some guilt and some shame of things I wasn't doing as a wife, that I wasn't even barely acknowledging my husband at the time. I was so consumed with trying to be a mom. Sometimes I think I don't even look at so much what Will was doing. I didn't trust him, or I just needed him to do his thing. I think for me, it was dealing with my own shame. And we have been broke, not 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, 10. It's been 10 plus years of struggling financially. I just was prepared that God was gonna drop the gauntlet again and punish me again for something.
For us, one of the biggest defining moments was even through this struggle of dealing with the pain of loss of trust, was staying connected and being in small group.
Small groups for us was just doing life with people. We just sat down and processed life. We sat down on the couch and there was like 4 couples, and we just confessed. He confessed his addiction to pornography. We confessed our financial struggles. We just said, we just want to lay this out for you so you can pray for us. To really just be like vulnerable with people and say, hey, like I don't know how we're going to navigate this.
Even though we were struggling with each other, we were still very much leaning on Christ for everything that we did. That if we just stayed focused on our faith, that God would make sure that things would end up being right.
But I knew, like, I just got to keep going to God. I just have to keep going to God. Like, that was my only thing, my group, like, just keep going. I made sure I was in church no matter what happened. I would cry all the way home from church every single night.
I had fallen short as far as being able to show my wife that I could be trusted.
If you look at my husband's a very strong man. Like I said, I'll never worry about him ever protecting me physically or safety-wise. He would take a bullet for me. But I needed him to spiritually step up.
It was about that she could trust me to be faithful spiritually. All those years of trying to read financial books on how do you make more money, how do you produce income, how do you become more successful, my life actually became more successful when I actually read the Bible more. I spent so much more time talking to God and spending time in my Word and spending time reading the Bible and spending time understanding how to do life God's way rather than how to do life the world's way. That was a defining moment in my coming to understand who Christ was in my life.
And then everything changed.
God provided the restoration to our marriage, our relationship. Then he provided restoration financially, that we could actually heal a lot of the areas that we needed to heal, to bring our family together.
For me, always being in control was very hard for me to now to say, okay, I'm going to step back. Yes, things are going to get hard. Yes, things might not look the way they are, but you know what, God, I'm going to continue to trust you. We just celebrated 28 years that I'm seeing God move in my husband in a way that he is leading this family, because I know that my husband's connection with God is strong right now. I know that his foundation is to a point that I know I can trust my husband. We have grown and we have changed and we have matured, and God has poured into us and he has refined us, and I just have to know that God always does things for good.